Hello students, already we discussed about control and coordination in Google Meet class. Now we can see in detail. Yes, in part 1 we are going to see all these subtopics. First one, mind map. Mind map is nothing but it will give you the clear idea about the whole chapter. Okay, then introduction, coordination, then animals nervous system, neuron, reflex action and reflex arc, receptors, human brain and spinal cord. Yes, in this mind map you can see first animals nervous system. You know, nervous system is made up of nerve cells or neurons, that is the structural and functional unit of nervous system. The top you can see the nerve cell or neuron. Here it is the largest cell in our body, elongated and also branch. Then it carry messages. Okay, this nerve cell or neuron has three parts, that is cyton or cell body, dendrites, it is a branched structure, then axon is a long unbranched structure. Already you studied about this neuron in lower class also. This is very important for the nervous system. Then actually this nervous system divided into three parts: CNS, that is central nervous system; peripheral nervous system, that is PNS; autonomic nervous system, that is ANS. CNS, central nervous system, include brain and spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system include cranial nerves and spinal nerves. 21 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Then autonomic nervous system include sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic for dilation, parasympathetic for constriction, just opposite in action. Okay, cranial nerves, the nerves which are present in the brain, then face coming under this. Spinal nerves, you know, inside the vertebral column, spinal cord, that 31 pairs. Okay, this spinal cord is very important for reflex action and reflex arc. Yes, the brain consists of three major parts: forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. In forebrain, two parts are present: cerebrum and olfactory lobes. This cerebrum occupies 3/4 of the region in forebrain. The cerebrum consists of occipital lobe, temporal lobe, frontal lobe and parietal lobe. Okay, we can see all these later. Olfactory lobes. From the term itself you can understand it is for detecting the smell. Then midbrain, no parts. Then hindbrain, there are three important parts: cerebellum, pons and medulla oblongata. Yes, now introduction. You know very well why this nervous system control and coordination we are saying. See, when you are seeing any object in the ground, first of all you are observing with your eyes. You want to take with your hands. For that you have to move from the place where you are standing. So your legs must participate. Then you have to bend or turn. So your legs and vertebral column also. So all these parts should coordinate even in your house. If you want to complete one work, then all must participate, means easily you can achieve the goal very easily. Okay, so coordination is very important. To carry out a simple function such as picking up an object from the ground, there has to be coordination of the eyes, hands, legs and the vertebral column. Yes, already I told you, observing, taking, then movement, everything. So all their actions have to be coordinated in such a manner that they follow a particular sequence and the action is completed. A similar mechanism is also needed for internal functions of the body, not only external, internally also our body parts. See, when you are eating, your mouth is pushing that into the esophagus. Then from the esophagus it goes to stomach. Then stomach should secrete enzymes and digest and push it to the intestine. Like that way all the organs should coordinate. Then only the digestion will take place. That is only internal functions. Okay. The individuals also have to adjust to the changing conditions around them and vary their response. See, when you are walking in a straight road, in the middle of the road you are walking, you are hearing the horn sound, then automatically what we will do, we will turn what is coming, then you will move to the left side. So your response, okay, so according to the environment we have to respond, then only we can achieve. At the same time, the internal conditions of the body also should be maintained constant. This is called homeostasis. Homeostasis means stand still in the same position, it has to be maintained. Just as in animals, plants also have to control and coordinate their various functions. Not only in animals, plants also should control and also coordinate its activities. Coordination. There are various organ systems in all living organisms carrying out various physiological processes. Physiological, that is circulation, respiration, excretion, digestion, everything. These organ systems cannot work independently. See, when your digestive system digested completely, then respiration. For digestion, actually the respiration is also needed because the oxygen is taken. Oxygen is used for burning the food. Then absorption, then absorbed food only gives energy. Okay, so all organs are closely associate with each other. After digestion, the unwanted materials are reaching the kidney or excretory system. Okay, so working together of all these systems is called coordination. Types of coordination. Coordination is mainly of two types: chemical coordination and nervous coordination. Chemical coordination with the help of chemical messengers, hormones in both plants and animals. Nervous coordination in animals only except porifera. Okay, sponges. Animals' nervous system. Nervous system is the most important essential part for regulation, control and coordination of body functions. It makes possible a range of adaptive responses to changes in the environment in the interest of individuals. That is nothing but stimuli. See, whenever we are getting any stimuli from the environment, immediately what we used to do, react, that is only response. Okay, so this system helps the individual to respond in a coordinated manner to environmental changes to control various movements and to prolong life. So according to the stimuli, the response must be given, then only we can prolong life. Structure of neuron, already you studied in lower class. Here you can see the three parts. See, this is the cell body. Then this long unbranched structure is called axon. This small branched structure is called dendrite. Cell body or cyton has a prominent nucleus. Nucleus is visible, present in the center. Then axon is a long unbranched structure surrounded by a myelin sheath. You can see that myelin sheath. This is a myelin sheath. This myelin sheath is interrupted some places, that is called nodes of Ranvier. Okay? Yes. Then dendrite is a branched structure helpful in conveying the impulses towards the cell body. See this dendrite. Next one, two neurons, how it is connected. You can see this. The dendrite of one neuron is connected to the axon of other neuron. This region only called what? Synapse. Okay, synapse is a region where the dendrite of one neuron connected to the axon of other neuron. Okay, yes, that is called a synapse. Actually, from here the impulses are carried by dendrite to the cell body. Then from the cell body the impulses carried away by axon. Here it is in the form of a chemical impulse. Then from here it changed into electrical impulse and pass up to this electrical impulse. Then after here again in the synapse region changes to chemical. Because of that only impulses reach very fast. Yes, two neurons are connected only by the passage of impulse across the intervening junctions, which is called a synapse. The information passing through neurons is in the form of a chemical and electrical signals called nerve impulse. Working of neuron. Already I told you, dendrites first detect the stimulus from the environment. From the environment it receives. After receiving the information at the end of dendrite, it set off a chemical reaction. So that impulses are converted to what? Chemical reactions. These chemical reactions creates an electric impulse. This impulse travels from dendrite to the cell body, then finally reaches to axon ending. Then here electrical impulse sets off the release of some chemical, that is already I told you, neurotransmitter. These chemicals help in transmitting impulse across the synapse. Here neuromuscular junction is shown. See, this is a muscle. Here this is a synapse. The synapse region is how it connected with the muscle, that is also shown here. This is a muscle fiber. Myofibril is nothing but the protein part of the muscle. Okay, here axon of motor neuron. This is neuromuscular junction because nerve and the muscle both are connected. Yes. Here this initiates similar electric impulse in a dendrite of next neuron. Impulse is then transferred from one nerve cell to another. Message is carried to the CNS, that is brain and spinal cord, via sensory nerves. CNS recognizes the stimulus and bring the message to the muscles via motor neuron. So sensory nerve carry the information to brain and spinal cord. From spinal cord or brain, the message carried by the motor neuron. Then muscles shows the response. Yes, this is a synapse region. Okay, synapse is nothing but dendrite of one neuron connected to the axon of other neuron, that is only shown here. Yes, reflex action and reflex arc. Already we saw reflex action is nothing but unconscious, involuntary, sudden response to a stimulus. It occurs at the level of spinal cord. The pathway through which the stimulus passes is called reflex arc, withdrawing hand away from flame. Here in this picture you can see the hot water. When you are touching the hot water, immediately moving away the hand. For that, actually what is happening, this stimuli is received by here, this is receptors. Then it is carried by sensory nerve, then reaches the spinal cord, then relay neuron, then motor neuron, through the motor neuron effector, then response is shown, so moving away the hand. Yes, here sneezing, pathway of reflex action for sneezing. When we used to sneeze, any unwanted particles are coming and reaching our nose and create irritation, then only we used to sneeze. So this flow chart shows that stimulus, that is unwanted particles. Then the receptor organ is what? Nose. Then that is carried out by sensory nerve, then reaches the spinal cord, relay neuron analyze, then give information to motor neuron. Because of that, response is in the form of a sneezing. Different receptors. Receptors are nothing but just like a receptionist, receiving. Okay, photoreceptors for light, phonoreceptors for sound, it is present in ear, olfactoreceptors for smell found in nose, gustatory receptors for taste present in tongue, thigmoreceptors for touch found in skin. Yes, year before last year, olfactoreceptor and gustatory receptor asked in the question paper. Human brain. It consists of mainly three parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Okay, now we can see in forebrain, mainly the forebrain consists of cerebrum, occipital lobe, temporal lobe, parietal lobe, frontal lobe. Okay, cerebrum, forebrain, majority of the portion or maximum space is occupied by cerebrum. We can see this is a maximum portion. It is occupied by cerebrum. Yes, this is cerebrum portion. Here all the lobes are present. Lobes are nothing but for sensory. Okay, visual, hearing, smell, taste, for that only. See, first lobe is occipital lobe. That is for visual, temporal lobe for auditory, parietal lobe for touch, smell and temperature, frontal lobe for muscular activities. Then olfactory lobe for smell. Okay, so this is a forebrain. Maximum portion is cerebrum. In this picture very clearly it is shown. See, forebrain, what are the parts are found? First one, occipital lobe. This occipital lobe, occipital, from the name itself you can say it is for visual. Then temporal lobe, that is for auditory, for hearing. Then parietal lobe, this is for touch, smell and temperature. Then frontal lobe, that is for muscular activities. Then olfactory lobe, that is for smell. Yes, forebrain, it is mainly thinking part of the brain. Different areas of forebrain receive sensory impulses from various receptors of the body. These areas are specialized for hearing, smell, sight. Here whatever we saw in the previous diagram, that is only occipital lobe for visual, temporal for auditory, parietal lobe for touch, smell, temperature, frontal lobe for muscular activities. Then olfactory lobe for smell. Midbrain. It controls reflex movement of head and neck. Reflex movement of head and neck. Trunk in response to visual and auditory stimuli. Then reflex movement of eye muscles. Change in pupil size and shape of eyelids. All these depends on midbrain only or controlled by midbrain. Hindbrain. Hindbrain is the last part of the brain. It has three parts: cerebellum, pons varolii and medulla oblongata. Cerebellum controls this. Cerebellum control the coordination of body movement and posture. Pons varolii for regulating the respiration. Then medulla oblongata, already you know, already we saw in the live class also. For what? Naduvula konjam pakkatha kaanum. Vijay Sethupathi picture. Yes, he got hit in that place, the ball. Because of that, he forgotten about what was happened previously. Yes. So control BP, heartbeat, breathing, regulates swallowing, etc. Okay. Functions of brain. First, it receives the information, then sends the information, stores the information, and also coordinate the activities of the body. Yes, in live class already we saw about brain, 1600 gram or 1.6 kilogram. Then it is covered by 3 layers, that is called meninges, then pia mater, arachnoid and dura. Inside, in between that matter filled with the fluid, cerebrospinal fluid, okay, then kept inside a bony box called skull. All these already we saw. So brain is very important part of our body. Next one, spinal cord. It is a cylindrical structure and begins in continuation with medulla oblongata and extend downward. How many spinal nerves? 31 pairs of spinal nerves arise from the spinal cord. It is also surrounded by meninges. It is enclosed in a bony cage called vertebral column. First few are called C, that is cervical, then next thoracic, then next to that lumbar, then after that sacral. If you will see in this diagram, you can see all those represented by C. C cervical, T thoracic, L lumbar, S sacral. Like that way you can understand. So this is about the structure of spinal cord. Thank you, students. We can see the next part in next session. Thank you.